then we'll break off to 2 breakout rooms. We will be recording this meeting so that both people, PACs and troops and crews, can see them as we go forward. And we will post up the 2 different meetings when the breakout rooms do occur so people can see and hear both information. As we move forward, when we get ready for those breakout rooms, if you could rename yourself to put a C in front of your name if you want to go to the Camp Carpenter breakout room, or a G in front of your name if you want to go to Griswold Scout Reservation breakout room. And the man behind the curtain will be able to assign you to the right breakout room at that time. As we have over 170 people in this room, please keep yourself muted, as we're going to have many people here, and any background noise will make it difficult for the recording and for people to hear. So if you keep yourself muted, it'd be greatly appreciated. There is the chat at the bottom. You can put questions that you have into the chat, and we will do our best to answer those as we go along this evening. And if we can't get to those answers, we will definitely answer them as soon as we possibly can. So as we go forward this evening, our format, we're going to be talking generally about the camping operations, and then we'll be breaking out and talking about Griswold Scout Reservation and Camp Carpenter in different meetings. And as we do that, we know we don't have all the answers moving forward at this time, but we're going to do our very best to have you best prepared because we are excited that 2021, we will be opening our properties. That is our goal. That is our mission at this time, and we're hoping to be able to make that happen. As we go forward, as I said, we may not have all the answers at this time, but we plan on doing some monthly camp director coffee hours, Zoom meetings, whatever you might want to call them, so that we can continuously update you with the information as best as we can so that you can be prepared moving into the summer months and making sure our units are ready to rock and roll. Currently, the leaders' guides are not published or out, as we are trying to do our best to be best prepared and put you out the most information. They will be coming out soon, hopefully by the beginning of the year, as we're working on those, but a lot of the information you'll receive today will prepare you to move forward in the next step. So that's where we're at. So we'll give a couple more minutes. As I know, I get more people coming in. We'll plan on starting in about 3 minutes, and we'll go from there. Unless I get the thumbs up from the man behind the curtain, I'll wait for him, and we'll go from there. So once again, we will be doing breakout rooms, 2 breakout rooms. One will be for Camp Carpenter, one will be for Griswold Scout Reservation. So if you can rename yourself with a C in front of your name if you want to go to Camp Carpenter, and a G in front of your name if you want to go to Griswold Scout Reservation. And if you can keep yourself muted, as we have over 170 people in this room, so we can make sure that we don't have any background noise as this is being recorded to go off to different places to post it later so that people can get the information if you are a PAC and a troop.
I have a few questions asking about how do you change your name. If you scroll over your picture, you'll see a mute button as well as 3 dots. If you hit the 3 dots, there's a way to rename your name. Just click on the rename and retype in how they ask you with a C or a G in front of your name. So this way we can get you into the right breakout session.
No, my system, my data is set up.
All right, we're very excited that we have so many people that continues to join us and come into our meeting. We're over 100 people already. So thank you for joining us. Remember to keep yourself muted as we go through. 100 people on here. Any back conversation is going to be really hard to see and hear. We are recording it for future use for troops and packs who may be wanting to hear both information. And we'll post it in other places so that you can get this information. And as I mentioned, we look forward to moving forward monthly to be able to give you more information as the information comes to us. We may not have all the information this evening as the world around us is constantly changing. We're going to do our very best to be ready to be open in 2021. That is our plan, that is our mission, and we're ready to get our camps up and running and doing what scouting is all about. So at this point, my name is Mark Hamill. I am the camp director at Camp Carpenter. I've been around for quite a few years, many different names on here. I'm excited to see you and welcome back. I've missed seeing all of you for years, and especially this past year. This will be my 29th year on camp staff or something like that. I lose count after I got over 10. That's why I teach second grade. I've only got 10 fingers. So I'm excited to be back to Camp Carpenter to kick off the season and get things excited. This year, joining me, I'm excited to have him up at Griswold Scout Reservation, is Drew Lusky, kicking off as our camp director up there. So Drew, welcome to the team, and here we go.
Thank you very much, everybody. I am Drew Lusky. I am the new Griswold Scout Reservation director, and we are excited to have this meeting for you all tonight, so this way we can give you some information about how camp is going to open and where we're going to go with it. A little bit about myself. I've been working at Griswold Scout Reservation for 5 years. Been coming here for about 12 with my son, who was on staff for 5 years. My daughter was on staff for 5 years, and they kind of talked me into coming on staff. My first year, I was the ATV director. It was probably the best year I ever had, teaching youth how to ride ATV safely around the Griswold Scout Reservation. And then a few years after, the next year, they asked me to be the Bell director. I was a Bell director for 2 years. Last year, we kind of got thrown with COVID, so there was no camp. I would have been director again. And now I am in the Griswold Scout Reservation director spot. So we're looking forward to completing your needs for the summer of 2021.
So exciting stuff. We have a great team. We have many other people that are on the call this evening that will be speaking as well as we go forward. Obviously, a lot of people have said to us, what are you doing at camp? Well, camp never stopped. Even though we may not have had camp this year, we still did stuff at camp. It was nonstop action. Things were going on all the time. So, just a general oversight so people can get a quick overview, understanding of what's been going on at Camp Carpenter. Many roofs are being changed. For example, Webb Lodge roof was finished this summer. The fort roof, it's been replaced and it looks brand spanking new. It's pretty cool. The director's roof is being changed. We've done some water heater replacements in Shirley Shower House, the dining hall and Nuttall. Great stuff. This summer we fixed the septic line in the director's cabin, so that was a special need. We fixed the dining hall fridge and freezer system to be more energy and make sure that we can take care of everybody when they come. We've done some major internet maintenance at Camp Carpenter as well to upgrade our systems. We've done a lot of road work and fixing the roads and making sure that they're smoother and doing some new paving coming up this next spring. And the fishing dock, that has completely changed. The old big raft that used to be out in the middle of Long Pond, that everybody's known for years, the green raft is now gone. It's been there for over half a century. And it is not gone, though. It has not left Long Pond. It is being transformed into a new fishing raft. And it's going to be moved out past Sunapee Point. So it'll be out there so that you'll be able to go out onto it and fish. And so that means we're going to have new swimming rafts in the swimmers area. The council ring has been enlarged. As if you've been to Camp Carpenter in the last few years, we have standing room only on Thursday nights, which is awesome. So we've enlarged that. And we've done a lot of tree clearing. A couple of years ago, we had our microburst that came through, and we've done a lot of tree clearing. We're finally getting caught up with that, and it's looking pretty good. And then last but not least is we've been doing a lot of work with new signage around the property. It looks pretty sharp, and those continue to go up. So even though camp wasn't open, we've been working on projects and making sure that the property continues to look great. Thanks to Steve Hamilton and his crew of volunteers to making that special because there's a reason that we are one of the top facilities in the Northeast and around the country is because of all our volunteers and making sure that our projects are constantly ongoing And we look forward to continuing to do that so that we can still be one of the top camps in the region. And I know Griswold Scout Reservation hasn't stopped either. So Drew, what you got going on?
We have not stopped. You are correct, Mark. And we're excited to tell you a few things that we are doing. First thing we want to talk about is how successful our family camp went at GSR this year. This is the first time ever that we've allowed to have families that were involved in scouting able to come and camp out and rent facilities as far as campsites to camp with their families for the weekends. We had well over 50 families that participated in this. Swim docks were out at Hidden Valley, and as well as the lower hill of Hidden Valley and the north end of Hidden Valley. Those campsites were set up for families, and they took part in it. We had over 50 families. Like I said, it was a really good it was a good time. It was a little weird not to have the kids at camp all summer and to be here and not hearing the yelling and screaming. I missed that terribly. But it was nice to actually have families of scouting come in and enjoy the property while we were still going through all the COVID restrictions that we had. So that was a great thing this summer. So let's get right into things that we're doing. Carter Lodge, who remembers how the Scoutmaster suppers were in the courtyard? When it rained, it was all muddy back there. Great smelling, great food coming from back there. Well, thanks to a generous donor, we have a brand new courtyard that is being built with all brand new pavers that are going back there. Turf Pro, Bill Price, he is a scouter himself, is doing the work with his team. And it's going to be a great addition to Carter Lodge. It looks fantastic. Words are not going to do any justice, neither do pictures. You're going to have to come and see it for this summer, and that'll be a great spot for us to gather together and do everything that we do in scouting. Next project is Bewley and Pioneer campsites. So north end of our camp, we all know how that is. A lot of people love those campsites. They're a little bit bigger. One of them we use for Provo, so some things are going to change this year. But what we are doing this year is we just absolutely gutted Bewley campsite. And if anybody has ever been over to Snowmo's campsite, they see that they were all given brand new platforms. They were all leveled and put into actual stands, non-movable platforms. Well, that's exactly what we're going to do with Bewley and Pioneer. Is we're going to have stationary platforms. We know that we have brand new tents for both Carpenter as well as GSR, but Bewley's going to look a little bit different and quite a bit nicer. And we're looking forward to getting the rest of the reservation up to that speed when we get to it. So inside those two sites, we're talking about brand new tents, brand new platforms. All platforms will be leveled and non-movable into the ground, as well as 3 pavilions will go in there. So the days of the vacant tents we're trying to pull away from them. So we will have a hard shelter inside the sites, which is great. There are talks of adding some other type of latrine on that end of camp. So we're really excited about doing those things. The roads, who loves camp roads? I know I do. The camp roads have just been graded and they have all been compacted. Unbelievable work by the rangers, and I'll talk about them in a few minutes as well. So our roads are great, and they should be great for the entire winter for us once we get in snow and plowing. Chase Waterfront is another one that's going to get an uplift. We have some funds that we'll put aside for Chase Waterfront, and we will be doing some work there, redoing the beach, redoing the tower, do some tree cutting back there. So that the whole north end of the valley will look quite a bit different, and we're excited about those things. Troop camping is available. It has been for the past few months. We've had quite a few units at our camp, and it's great to see our units back out here. A big thank you to our rangers, Brian Boyajian and John Rolfson, for all the hard work that they do at GSR, and now continuing to do some help over at Carpenter as well, which is fantastic. Another huge thank you to Tim Hayes, who was out here, worked with us this summer to help facilitate the whole family camp, and he is an absolute asset to us, and we love him and can't wait to see him to do some more work up here. So I will leave it back to Mark.
So yeah, we can still camp at camp currently. So yeah, definitely get out there and check out the properties. You can come to Carpenter or go up to Griswold Scout Reservation with units and have a great time. So camp is still going on. That's what we're all about. But as we said, those are things that's kind of been happening. And we've been working with a great team to prepare ourselves for the 2021 season. So we're excited to start things rolling and get things open for next year. So we're about to kick it all off right now and get the season going. What's going to happen, and we're going to have a few guest speakers come in here in a minute. Then we're going to go into breakout rooms in a little bit. So if you're just joining us, if you could please rename yourself with a G in front of your name if you want to go to Griswold Scout Reservation breakout room, or a C in front of your name if you want to go to the Camp Carpenter breakout room. That way our man behind the curtain can assign you to the right rooms when it comes to that time. But let's move on to the things that are coming up and the team that we have with us to make it happen so we can start our year with a bang. So starting off with a team that's done a lot of work for us, starting off with Phil Donovan, the Daniel Webster Council Camping Committee Chair. He took on this job and right before COVID kind of, and he stuck through it with us. So, and he's still doing it with a smile. So thank you, Phil. Along with him is Skip Chase, who is now the Daniel Webster Council Program Director. He's taken on that position, and we're super excited to have him as part of our team as well. Derek Wirtz is our Daniel Webster Council Assistant Scout Executive. He's here as well to help us out and continue to make sure that camping is top priority in our council. And Tom Charlton, who is now taking on the Trek Director position of our properties in our organization here at Daniel Webster Council too. So with that being said, I'm going to turn it to you, Phil, and let you talk to us about what the next steps and what we're moving forward looking like.
Hey, thanks, Mark, and good evening, everyone. It's nice to see a large turnout to help us kick off the 2021 camping season. As Mark and Drew pointed out, a lot of things have been going on in the background. The planning for camp never stops, ever. Things keep happening, and right now is no different than any other time. We didn't run camp last year, as you know, but that didn't prevent people from using the properties. We also ran the Granite Base Camp program, which was successful, and there are plans in the works to expand that to offer other opportunities for kids in the council and out of council. So you'll hear more of that as we move forward. We won't get into that tonight, but Granite Base Camp is alive and well and will be even better than it was last summer. We have really two broad goals for camp on the camping committee. Number one is we want to get every scout into a camp, particularly our properties, either Camp Carpenter or GSR. We want to see them going to scout camp anywhere, but coming to our properties is a special thing. I happen to be an alumni of Hidden Valley camp staff in 1973 and 1974, if that dates me. So I've been kicking around for a while. And it was one of the most life-altering experiences of my life. So we want to make sure that every kid in our council has that opportunity. So that's where you guys come in and you can help us get those kids there to camp. Our second overarching goal is to fully open camp this summer. But we know that COVID is hanging over our heads. We are planning to open camp. That's our number one priority. Our number two priority is to make sure that we have plans B, C, and D, and whatever it takes to make something happen. If you remember back last spring, Granite Base Camp didn't happen overnight. There was some significant planning that started well in advance of the decision to implement that. So those kinds of things are always ongoing. And speaking of COVID, we have our fingers on the pulse of what's going on constantly. We have a risk management team that has medical professionals on board, insurance professionals on board, risk management professionals on the committee. So the information that we are monitoring and considering is extensive, and that we're looking at that on a regular and periodic basis. So as things change, we can react, and that's a huge help in our planning process. So just want to make you comfortable that we are trying to keep our fingers on the pulse of COVID as much as we can. It's a moving target, but that is always an ongoing consideration, and we're keeping a close eye on that. A couple of other things. I know pricing is an issue for everybody, so I wanted to touch base with you on that tonight. We are planning to keep pricing the same as it was in the 2021 season. The proposal is going to the executive board in budget form with that recommendation. And we hope and expect that pricing will remain level to help people get into camp this year. Now, one thing that is on the table, and it may or may not happen, but we may, we are considering the possibility of having some kind of a COVID surcharge. We may, depending on where we are, again, we may need extra cleaning supplies. We may need extra staff to make sure that the facilities are sanitized and clean. We may need extra PPE. Those kind of things we can't anticipate in the budget. So there may be a COVID surcharge. I know the high adventure bases, the national high adventure bases are using that strategy. We hope that we don't need that, but it's on the table, and we'll keep you informed as that, that decision is considered and made. But it won't be made for probably a little while until we have further information. So the base price of camp, we're expecting it to be the same. We'll keep you posted as soon as we know that for sure. We're announcing some of these things earlier than we have good information on. But we want to get you guys thinking and knowing that we're working on it, and we'll keep you posted as we move along. So that's pricing and the COVID surcharge. The other thing on the financial side of it, we will have camperships available this year, as we have in the past. We hope to make the application process for that a little bit easier with an online application. That planning is in the works, and we'll announce that as soon as that's ready to go. So with that, I think that's a broad overview of what the camping committee is looking at in conjunction with Drew and Mark on the program side. We're trying to get things fired up. The one thing that I will ask everybody here to do is make your commitments for camp. It helps us with the planning process. If we know how many units are coming to camp, it's a lot easier to figure things out. So it's simple enough to do. Just let Val know in the council office. And you can reach her at camping@nhscouting.org. So just let Val know if your unit is planning to come to camp and which week, and we will make sure that we are ready for you with open arms. And thanks very much. And Mark, back to you. I think if there's no questions, it's all yours. Thanks.
All right, thanks. Yeah, so the pricing staying the same as 2020 pricing, and thank you, Phil, in making that dedication and effort to make sure that our camps continue to open and we keep the price as low as possible to provide the best programming we possibly can. That's what our goal is, to make sure that we have the best camps around, but providing a great program. So as you saw, there's a lot of people that are involved in this process. It's not just Drew and myself creating this plan and moving forward. There's a lot of more behind the scene people, and thank you for your dedication to make sure that we continue to work forward opening for the 2021 season. We are definitely aware of the situation that's at hand, and we're going to continue to make sure that we promote and prepare camp. So promotions are a key thing. We know that a lot of these people that are on this call this evening are our cheerleaders, the ones that go out there and are always talking about camp and getting the pulse on what's going on in the council and getting kids to come to camp. And we appreciate that, and thank you so much. That's what it's all about. We know that the people that may not be on this call may not know what's going on in scouting or in our camping situation, and we need that help to make sure that happens. Obviously in the past, Camp Carpenter staff, we've been out to promote to each unit individually. Griswold Scoutisation has done it different ways in the last few years, but it's all about promoting. And so we want to make sure we get that information out there to all the families about all the programs that we have to offer at the Webster Council. Too often we just tell them about the program that we're most interested in, but we got to let them know about all the programs. So we're in the process of putting together a few different things. There is a mailer that will be coming out, hopefully at the beginning of the year, that will be mailed out to every registered youth. And we know that's not everybody that's going to be coming to camp. We know we need to go get those youth that are not going to get the mailer to get excited about scouting and come to camp. So that information needs to get out to everybody. So we'll be getting that mailer out to all the youth that are registered, hopefully at the beginning of the year, with a brochure. On the Cub Scout side, we're working on doing a huge poster and with the back with the information. And Not sure what Drew's doing up north, but I think it's similar, correct?
It is very much similar. I know roundtables that we'll be talking about promotions. I know Mark and I had said earlier that we would like to do some type of director coffee time once a month, so we can get as much information out to you as quick as possible. I think that would be a great asset for us. Again, we can do some virtual promotions. Whatever your unit is looking to have, we can try to arrange it to the best of our ability within these times.
So we definitely want to get that information out there. We need the help doing it. And it doesn't have to be just Drew or myself doing all the talking about camp and promoting it. So if you have people, and I know many of you that are on this call are great promoters yourself, and you can help out and assist and keep knocking on those doors and say, hey, go to camp. It's the best thing in the world. We know that kids have been spending too much time in front of electronics and looking at, Zoom meetings like we are right now, and, doing schooling online, all that stuff. And they're spending hours and hours in front of the screen. When they go to camp, they're going to actually get to go outside and run around and have fun. And that's what it's all about. And have conversations with other human beings face to face, and it'll be a great thing. We don't know if the masks will be there or not at that point, but at least they'll be getting outside and socializing and doing what scouting is all about. So we want to get them to camp. So help us out, and let's continue to move people in that direction through the promotional process. I want to mention that we've had more people that have joined the call. So if you've just joined the call, if you can rename yourself to C if you would like to join the Camp Carpenter breakout room, or G in front of your name if you would like to attend the Griswold Scout Reservation breakout room. In a few minutes, we're going to break out to the two different camps to be able to talk to you specifically about the camps. In the camp, the meeting is being recorded so that we can use this information, and people that want to hear both can hear both of the information.
Mark, what else are we looking for? I know there was something about those crazy kids that we deal with all summer long that yell and scream and cheer and rant and rave and keep our scouts and Cub Scouts up and moving. So
yeah, I heard Phil mention that in 1973, he learned how to be one of those crazy people.
I totally agree. So once again, GSR and Camp Carpenter are looking for those wonderful scouts and scouters and people who would love to bring to our program camp staff. We have a wide variety of different things that people can apply for, as everybody knows. Our staff applications are the same. They are online under the camping and outdoors. You can find it's the same application for GSR as well as for Camp Carpenter. So we're excited about that. We are working with our teams already. I know Mark has some of his staff already. I have some of my staff lined up already. And we're trying to work this out. But we do need help, as always, with camp staff. And I just got a message about CITs. Absolutely, we will be taking CITs because those are the ones that will still be they'll be moving up with our camp and moving up with our staff. And we always take from them. They're a great, they are an asset to us.
They really are. So yeah, so 14-year-olds can be a CIT. It's a great age to start. I started a long time ago doing a CIT, and here I am 30 years later as a camp director. So you never know where CIT can end up. And then a lot of people always think that, it's just those teenage years that they can be on camp staff. Well, no, we can definitely use educators. I know you have your summer off. That's how I do it. I became a teacher just so I could work at camp year round for the rest of my life. And retired people as well. Retired people, we're more than welcome to have you. We definitely need people on staff, and having experience is always a great thing to be able to lend. And maybe you're here for just a week or 2 weeks or whatever, but you can make a huge difference in the scouts that we work with year round. I think a lot of the questions we've been able to answer that we can answer. We will continue to monitor the chat session as we go into our breakout rooms. Feel free to continue to write stuff down. If we can answer them tonight, we will. If not, we will definitely get back to you. And you can also email myself or Drew, and we will definitely get back to you as soon as we can with the correct information. With that being said, thank you for joining us this evening. We are going to move into our breakout rooms. We'll have one for Camp Carpenter and one for Griswold Scout Reservation. The man behind the curtain, Brett Branscombe, is going to send us to our breakout rooms. and those breakout rooms will be recorded as well. So again, thank you for joining us this evening. And Brett, if you are ready, we can push the magic button and we will see you all in the Camp Carpenter or the Griswold Scout Reservation breakout room.
Can I be put into the Griswold one?
You are in a Griswold one.
Thank you very much.
You are very welcome. Good evening, everybody. I'm just going to give it a minute, so make sure we get everybody into our group, and then we'll kick right off into how GSR is going to run and what it's going to look like for this summer. Hope this is finding everybody well. We are excited to offer camp for next year. We were very upset that we weren't able to run camp last summer, but everybody knows how that worked out as far as COVID. So the decision was made to cancel camp due to we weren't able to fully secure, not fully secure, but be fully given. We couldn't keep our kids safe 100%, and that is what our goal is to keep our scouts safe. And that was one of the main reasons why camp was closed last summer. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and start us off. I think we have everybody. Welcome again. I am Drew Ridlewski. I am the Griswold Scout Reservation Director. I was just newly promoted into this position again about a month ago. I've been off and running since given this position. I'm glad to see everybody here. I see a couple of familiar faces. Welcome to everybody. GSR and what are we doing next year? I'm sure a lot of people have a lot of questions and would like to know where we're going and what we're doing. So we're just going to start right off. So what is GSR going to look like next year? We are opening. We have staffing going on, but there will be some changes, and everybody will see those changes. But we will still try to hold the traditions that we had for Hidden Valley and Camp Bell, but they're just going to be combined a little bit more. So what do I mean by being combined? So now GSR is going to offer two different experiences. You have a Valley experience as well as a Bell experience. All camping will be done on Hidden Valley. So what that means is all of our Bell units will be camping on the north end of Hidden Valley. So that means McGee, Bewley, Pioneer will be reserved for Bell units. Patrol cooking will be available for that. Your traditional Bell style patrol cooking, your patrol activities, evening activities will pretty much be the same. Schedules will look a little bit different for the Bell as well as the Valley kids, but we'll get into that a little bit more. With the Bell, it'll turn into half-day programs as far as horses, speedboats, climbing, Foxfire, and so forth and so forth. Once our program guides are out, you guys will see everything that is available for that aspect. Same thing that's going to apply for Valley is Valley will have the option now, if there are a couple units, when we have enough patrol boxes and stoves to go around, to give Valley units a chance to patrol cook if they would wish. So that's one of another change that we have coming into the reservation. So if you're a Valley unit coming into your Valley programs, you do have the option of doing patrol cooking, which we're excited about to lend that out. So again, Bell is going to look a little bit different, just staying on the Valley side. The only time that the Bell Hill will be open will be for MYLT, and we will do that. For some strange, if there's another reason that we get, too many scouts that are registering for camp and we have to open the hill, then we will do that. But the way membership and COVID is right now with our membership, we don't think it would be viable to do that at this point. So like I said, some things that will change with the Bell experience, just be pretty much only on the Valley side, the north end of camp. Everything else will stay the same as far as patrol method cooking, patrol activities. There'll be some newer activities, patrol-based merit badges. If the patrol wants to choose to do one merit badge for half a day, another merit badge for half a day, it's pretty much going to be completely up to the patrol and how they want to move forward with their program. Same thing with Hidden Valley. Hidden Valley has not changed. The only thing that'll be changing with the program in Hidden Valley is we are adding another merit badge block. So we all know traditionally Hidden Valley in the morning, there was 3 merit badge blocks, 1, 2, and 3. Then you had siesta in the afternoon. You had 3 blocks for troop activities. So what we're doing is we're going to push into another merit badge block for that first afternoon activity. The difference this year as well is we will be offering patrol activities to Valley Camp, and that includes Bell programs. So if your troop patrols only, so within your troops, if your troop would like to do a trail ride on the horses, they will be able to do that in the afternoon with signing up for that. If they want to go out in the speedboats and do water skiing and tubing and work on those merit badges, they'll be able to do so and sign up to do that in the afternoons for a certain amount of blocks. I think we'll have 2 blocks in the afternoon, so it'll be just about 2 afternoon blocks for each side. We just don't have that all written out yet. So all the things in the past of people asking for, doing some of the Bell activities will now be available for everybody on the reservation. So again, the morning we'll have 3 morning blocks, lunch, afternoon you'll have another block, and then you'll have either troop activity or a patrol activity, whichever way your troops or patrol decide to do. Choose your programs. Evening activities, there'll be different evening activities, pretty much similar to what we have done in the past, but it will be a reservation-wide evening activity. So our Bell campers as well as our Valley campers will be doing evening activities together. Commissioner service. So let's talk about our commissioner service. That's going to be another new thing to everybody, how we're going to change our commissioner service. I see our new head commissioner. I'm going to introduce him right now. Mr. Tom Greer is in the middle of the screen there. He has humbly accepted my request for him to be my head commissioner this year. Commissioner service is going to be quite a bit different this year, as it's going to be a reservation commissioner service. So that means they're going to be handling all the reservation logistics as well as customer service will be going through the commissioner service. Tom has many years of customer service behind him, and we're looking forward to what he's going to do with his team. We're really excited about that. That will look a lot different as far as commissioner services. We'll still have commissioners for the Bell. For the Bell areas, the patrol cooking and stuff like that, they're still going to deliver it to the sites. That will all look the same. Again, Valley, if you are at Valley and you want to try patrol cooking, those options will be available. So we're excited about the commissioner service changing and getting back to the roots of, the commissioner service being there for customer service to help the units. I envision Tom walking around with his red coat and his staff, just sitting down, having a cup of coffee with each scoutmaster, and talking to SPLs and talking to the youth of the camp, and getting the feedback right then and there and being able to answer questions for you right then and there is what our goal is. So we're really excited about that with the commissioner service. Right now, I am sorry, I'm going to introduce Tom Charlton. Tom, I jumped right in. I completely forgot about your high adventure camp for the summer. So I'm going to give it to Tom for a couple of minutes, and then we'll get back into GSR and we'll go into a question site, answering questions, and we'll go from there. So I'm going to give it to Tom to talk about his high adventure camp that he will be going forward with this summer.
Great. Thank you, Drew. I am Tom Charlton. I am your Trek director, and some of you are familiar with Granite High Adventure, which was slated to launch in the infamous year of 2020 that almost never happened. However, we are taking our finger off the pause button, and we are preparing to launch in 2021, and we're looking forward to taking many of you and your older scouts on backcountry remote area expeditions in northern New Hampshire, the White Mountains, and in western Maine on some of the lakes and rivers that are very pristine and very much a wilderness experience. We have 3 types of programs that we have in mind. One takes place on that majestic 3,500 acres we call GSR, and in some of the surrounding area that is for 13-year-old first class and up. That is the Belknap Challenge, and that is intended to be a learning and training experience to train backwoods wilderness high adventure type leadership for your scouts so that they can feel confident to do trips of their own in the backcountry with your unit. The White Mountains treks are, you might guess, these are backpacking and hiking. These are in the White Mountain National Forest and some of the surrounding areas. These are, again, there are some of the locations, of course, that are magnificent that a lot of people go to and see, but there are also some magnificent areas that are very remote that very few people go into, and those are the kinds of places that we want to take you to and introduce you to. The Northern Rivers treks are begin in Western Maine on the McGalloway and the rivers and the Rangeleys, the western part of the Rangeleys, and they come back down into New Hampshire, into Errol, and onto the Androscoggin River. We have whitewater options, rafting options. We have rappelling options in the mountain treks. There are all kinds of add-ons that we can do there. We're super excited to help your units get as deep into the woods as we can and get a trip that they'll talk about for the rest of their lives. And I think with that, I'll turn this back over to Drew, and I can take questions as well through the chat, or you can contact me directly through the council office. We are already taking requests for Zoom promos for the High Adventure program. So there are a few moving pieces right now just to nail things down. However, we also want to hear what you are interested in, so that before those pieces stop moving around, we can maybe incorporate some of what you're looking for. Thank you. Drew?
Tom, I got a quick question. It's asking, a White Mountain and Northern Tier 14 plus?
Yes, they are. They are 14 plus, also first class required.
Okay, I think that just answered both those questions.
Okay.
Excellent. So yes, we all have a lot of plans for the future and for next summer. We're really excited to get into that. So I guess we can jump right back into what I was talking about, how we're going to change things. So my three main goals for this summer at GSR, I have three goals, three visions that I would like to change and see changed, that we've seen that we've had some issues in the past. So to let you guys know what I'm looking for and what I'm looking to change. My three big things, number one is going to be food. I see a couple of faces just nod their heads. Our food service has not been the greatest, and we have been notified by a lot of you. And that is one of my number one goals, is to make sure that the food is changed, to make sure that our scouts get a great meal, get enough of the meal, and that meal changes. We know that we've had some issues in the past with the way the food service has been, and that is number one on my list, is to change the food service. So we will have much better food at camp. So we're excited to change that for you all. Second thing I'm looking to do is change my customer service aspect. And we're doing that by implementing a new commissioner service and how we're going to run that through the reservation. They will be working, solely with myself and Tom and with you all in order to make sure that your scouts have the most epic week that they possibly can at GSR. And the third thing that I'm working on is program. All of us, I've been a scoutmaster. I know a lot of you are all scoutmasters. What's the main thing that we've always said with the scouts? If you have program and you have good programming, they will come. And that's what we need to do. So we need to have better programming, better trained staff, to make sure that we instill these, these merit badges that these scouts are taking, and make sure that they're getting 100% of the material, as well as getting an experience that they will never forget for the rest of their lives. So those are my three main goals for the reservation for this summer, and next summer I'll come up with three more. So we're really looking forward to coming into that. I did not mention ASI training, ATV training. ATVs are still available. They will be available. We just don't know what it looks like yet. They had changed some things over. The class is supposed to be a little bit less. So what the scouts need to do now is go online and take the online portion of it, and then they come in and they'll get the machine time. So that kind of cuts the class down by 2 hours. So we might actually be able to get 2 classes in a day. We don't know what that's going to look like, but once we have everything from ASI and we have our ATV director set in place, which I think we have one, we'll be able to put out more information. Again, that'll be in the program guide that goes out. explaining what that is. Again, the ATV program is outstanding. We have 16 ATVs on site. And since we got the new 14 and over ATVs, we have not had a problem with them. I will knock on wood. I know that's a big one for a lot of you. Another great thing with that is now it's opened again to Valley units to send their scouts if scouts want to do the ASI ATV training. That will be available to everybody reservation wide. So with that, I am going to leave it open to questions. Again, that's a quick and easy explanation of what camp is going to kind of look like. Again, we could turn around and we have a vaccine and we have, 3,000 scouts coming to camp, and we're going to have, Valley and Bell running independently. But as of right now, with our membership and with COVID, we need to run camp the way it is. So if anybody has any questions, I am here. Please feel free to chat them in if you want to. We can answer a whole bunch of them. I just saw a great question. A few good questions. That's perfect. Are you planning on a full 8-9 week program? Are we okay to plan for week 1 June reservations? So yes, we are running an 8-week program. 9 weeks, I don't know if we've ever ran 9 weeks, but I would love to get there where we can run 9 weeks and be at camp for even longer. That would be fantastic. But yes, we're doing a full 8 weeks. That last week. So our dates for camp. Week 1 will start June 27th to July 3rd. And week 8 is August 15th to August 22nd. The Griswold Scout reservation form is up on the website. Pretty easy to find as soon as you go into outdoor and camping. It's the first form that's right there. That gives all the dates for what week is associated for the dates. So I hope that answers that question. Are we expecting dining hall restrictions? So with the dining hall, if I would say today, yes, I would have dining hall restrictions. 6 months from now, I really couldn't answer that question. But we have everything in place. We had sat down for months before 2020 season in order to come up with a plan with COVID in place to open camp. So we do have other options on what we're going to do with the dining hall if we can't open it or if there are restrictions, whether if it's going to be staggered times for eating or whether we're going to be delivering food right to the campsites. We don't know, but we do have plans in place if that's where we need to go with dining hall restrictions. I hope that answers your question. If a troop had a reservation this past summer, may the original week be moved to a new one? Absolutely, you're allowed to change your weeks as many times as you'd like. Any thoughts of allowing Bell program participants to have breakfast and dinner in Gilbert Hall? That is okay. So you just want a bag lunch and have them out on the field. That's something that we could definitely arrange. It's something that I'm looking at too, of maybe going reservation wide with a bag lunch to keep the scouts out. Again, this is all, we don't know where we're going to be, but that's definitely something that could be reservation wide. I'm trying not to, but it couldn't happen that way. Are there going to be merit badges? Yes, there will be merit badges. Limits as many merit badges as scout can take is what he or she, will be able to take. At Valley itself, you have 4 merit badge blocks now, as well as whatever merit badges are given at night. There are a couple of merit badges like fingerprinting merit badge. I think bugling merit badges, a couple of merit badges that are given on different nights. So there's no limit on how many merit badges that a scout can work on while they're here. Where can interested scouts find out more about being counselors, pay, hours? So you could be interested, if you're interested in wanting to be counselors, please just log on to nhscouting.org, go to the camping section and look for the application. There's more information on the staff application that's on there. As far as pay and hours, we work all summer, like 2 hours a day. It's pretty much what our kids work. No, I'm kidding. We work a lot, but we don't have those hours put out right now. If you'd like to shoot me an email, I could talk to the scout or talk to yourself about pay and hours and how that works. Any limits on troop activities or extra activities like archery and rifles? Limits, again, if we're going to go into a COVID, I'm assuming that's what you're talking about as far as limits on it. Pretty much what it would be is instead of having full 16 on the rifle range, we'd end up being 8. So it's just going to be shorter people, shorter amount of scouts that'll be on the line at one time. Same thing with the archery. They have 8 now, we'll go down to 4 just to give the distance in between each target area, is where we would be for archery and rifle, but we will be there. NYLT is at my heart for some of you that know. I know the judge is on here. That's another one of his heartfelt programs. NYLT, yes, will be offered. I know Chris Corkery is on it. He is a course director. There'll be some more information given out. I believe that they are thinking about doing NYLT at the end of the season and not the beginning of the season. As soon as that information is given out, we will make sure that everybody's blasted out and we can tell everybody about our outstanding NYLT program that we have. So that answers 2 questions.
We have a high adventure question that's come up a couple of times with that one about the scheduling. The final scheduling will, to some degree, be determined by the water release schedule from the dams in Western Maine on the McGalloway and Rapid Rivers. They do publish those in midwinter. They tend to cluster around the weekends, but we'll anchor our river trips around the dates that there will be water going down the rivers. And then we will be able to fill in around that with the hiking trips. That being said, if there are full contingents and entire units that want to schedule something, we can work around your schedule. So right now, they're a little bit in flux. They're likely to be similar, and they don't quite coincide with the week at camp, partly because the week of camp doesn't give us enough time to stage an extensive trip. But those schedules will be out as soon as we have that information from Maine. There's another one that popped up. Do you want me to take that in order, or do you want me to take it right now? Full contingent, assuming we do not have additional restrictions from COVID, a full contingent in the mountains is 10, including staff, and a full contingent on the river is 12, including staff.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Tom.
Thank you.
All right, I'm going to jump right into the next one. So we had, will NYLT be offered? Yes, it will. COVID limit to merit badges, anything not being offered. As of right now, again, 6 months out, we can't really answer that question. As of right now, we'll have our full program of merit badges that we have always offered, as well as however many we can change and add. So that's where we are at merit badges. I don't have any COVID limits yet. It could go down to, we have limited in the classes, but we will work on that when we get closer to summer camp. So probably April, May is where we start making more decisions towards that. At this point, do you think any COVID screening or quarantine is needed? If we were going into camp next week, I would say definitely yes. I would say there would have to be at least a 2-week monitoring of temperature. That's something that we were going to put into effect for last summer. So, a 2-week quarantine before you get to camp. We're going to do that with our staff, have the staff come up 2 weeks prior, and they will not probably be able to leave for the summer. That's how most camps ran this past summer. So we will see how that goes. So we don't know what the screening is going to be and what the quarantine is going to be at this point. But as we get closer and we get more information, as we all know, COVID is changing daily. So week 8, the dates for week 8 are August 15th through August 22nd. You got the contingent. How do potential CITs apply? CITs apply. It is a part of the provost section. So what they do is they sign up for a week of provisional. It's actually 2 weeks for the counseling and training program. I believe the course was dropped substantially last summer. I don't have the course in front of me, but 2 weeks of camp. First week, the CIT is going through a rigorous training program and going to different areas and see how we teach and how we go through our day with this tasks that staff does. And then the second week, they are usually put at one of their choices of areas that they would like to work and work at that area for that week. So all they have to do is, once our registration system is up, you just want to sign them up for a CIT spot. What will the refund policy, cancellation policy do to the changing COVID? I'm more than sure, I don't have that answer right now, but I'm more than sure the way it was last year that all refunds were given to anybody who asked for it. For COVID, I would assume that the council will, I'm not going to assume anything. The council will honor that as well. CIT is only 2 weeks. Can they go for longer, i.e. 4 weeks? If they would like to go for 4 weeks, you can sign them up for 4 weeks. Our CIT program is only 2 weeks. Sometimes we will hire a CIT, depending on the age and the maturity, right into staff, or sometimes we will let them volunteer for the rest of the summer to stay within that position to gain more experience and then come back as a full-fledged staff member the following summer. Will COVID vaccine shots be required for all attending? Again, that is not another answer that I can give you right now. The vaccine isn't out yet. I know that the government is talking about something in December. We don't know what that looks like. So once we have that information, it will be put out on the council website, and it will be given information to all those registered units on what we need to do. All right, was there anybody's question I hadn't answered? Is there any other questions? Oh, I got another one. Check-in, will that change? Yes, it will. So check-in is definitely going to change. So we've already started talking about it. I know Carpenter is going to try to do the same thing as we are. What we're going to end up doing is a staggered check-in, whether it's going to be 10 troops an hour, 5 troops an hour. I don't know what it's going to exactly look like, but we will be doing a staggered check-in, depending on how we are and what we had planned for this past season. If we were going to open and the COVID effect, what we were going to do is it would have been staggered check-in. Again, we would have had different drop-off points. So a scout would come in with his family. His family would know the exact point of where his troop would be. Scout leader would be at that spot. It would kind of be a drop and go. Parents wouldn't be allowed to stay, obviously, for social distancing reasons, and to have less people that are in contact with our staff and with the scouters. So that's what it's looking like that we're still going to try to do, because I know we've had some issues in the past with check-in, and we'd like to change that and make check-in as easy as possible for you all. What are the long-term plans for Bell? Bell is just going to be a program destination. There are no long-term plans for it. If membership starts to grow back up and we can open the hill back end, then we will. We most certainly will. All right. Can you look at using online forms like Camp Docs? That is in my sites. I keep pushing for Camp Docs. So those mandates do not come from us as far as using those type of things. National is the one that does not like us to put med forms on digital copies. But I'm thinking that things are going to change. We are going into 2021. We need to get with the times. Camp Docs that's the one that I'm suggesting that we use for our med forms. Hopefully we can push for it, but we'll see where that goes. Any chance of custom menus as opposed to standard menus for Bell this year? So Jeff Scott, I knew that was going to come from you. Thank you, Jeff. So we have a couple of different options that we're talking about. I think you and I can have an offline conversation about this. But one of the things that Garrett Boyd will be coming back, things that we talked about is if those units do want to do their own custom menus, let's look at different options. Can we do one where it's a discounted rate of what you're paying for a camp fee, and you guys bring your own food and we store it for you and bring the coolest to you? Or do we do the custom menus as needed? The way it's been in the past has been very hard for us to do it. It's a logistical nightmare down inside the commissary. And that's why we kind of steered away from it for the past couple of years. But let's talk online about that, and you let me know how you feel about that, and we'll see what we can do. Will there be blue cards or will it be online? So as of right now, my plan is everything will be online. We need to go forward and not backwards. I know we went backwards last year. I am talking with, we have some talks with Jim Buttafuoco again to look into our program that we had before that dealt with all our blue cards. But our blue card system, our advancement system will be online for next summer. There was a question that I missed. Please just retype it for me. I'm trying to get everybody's. If anybody has any other questions, please feel free to let me know. Winter camping question on manning shelters available for rent. Are we talking about the Adirondacks? If so, then yes, they are available with social distancing with inside them. I believe it would be 4 in each one, I think is what the distance would end up being. We are adding for those units that have first years, can they do a Bell Experience and still a Frontier program? Absolutely they can. So what my plan is to have that we'll have the regular Frontier program for the entire week, but I also would like to have a Brown Sea program, that first year program for those patrols that would like to still do it the way we do it at Bell. So that option will still be available. So they can do a first year experience and still do Frontier. Yes, they can. In that aspect, Frontier, they could still do some type of Bell Experience in the afternoon with their patrols. We're adding a girls patrol. Can you accommodate girls patrol? Absolutely, we can, and we will. Will we try to establish preferred weeks for girl troops to attend camp? That we will not. It will be open to all season. Will be open for everybody. Can I discuss costs? Cost for camp, I believe they're talking about, like Phil was saying in the original, the cost is going to stay where it was for 2020, which I believe is the same price as 2019. So there's not going to be any costs associated with that. The difference with that is there won't be a different number between Bell and Valley. It'll be the same exact cost of what both will be. So that's what our cost, for camp. As far as other things, ATVs always had a cost associated to it. Horseback riding has a cost associated to it. This year, the speedboats will have a cost associated to it, just due for gas prices and everything else that'll be expected to be going up. Other than that, there's not too much that is changing with costs. Sarah, does that answer your question on cost? If not, feel free to shoot me an email and I can go further to depth for you. When will registration open? I wish I had registration open 2 weeks ago. But I would assume we will have registration open, usually opens up in February, if I'm not mistaken. Phil, am I wrong on that one?
I think that, well, you can make your unit commitments anytime now. I think if you have those kind of questions, Val can certainly answer them. If you want to get going now, I'm sure that she would take any registrations that people have as soon as you have them. So get in touch with Val, and she can be reached at camping@nhscouting.org.
Thank you, Phil. So when will registration? When should we expect the camp guides? My goal is to have the camp guides out to you guys before December 15th. That is that is the date that I have given myself, the deadline to have everything out. The leaders guide will stay pretty much the same, and that was across the reservation. Prereq guide, whatever we're pulling or taking out of it, will pretty much stay the same as well. Program guide is where it's going to change. And what I'll end up doing is, we're going to add the two together, the Bell and the Valley one together. But I'll leave it separate in certain ways so it's easier for the patrol leaders to just print out what they want for their patrol picks. So make it easier on the leaders and be more printer friendly with the trees and not having to print out so much paper. But that's what we'll look to do. So yes, camp guides, that's where we're looking at. this middle of December. We want to get those out to you guys as soon as possible. Camp deposits, when will they be due? I don't know, Barry. I will get back to you on exact dates on that. Do we plan on having an early bird discount or late fee? Phil, you want to take that one?
Yeah, as far as we know right now, the proposal that's gone to the executive board is to use the same fee schedule, deposit due dates, early bird discounts and late fees as we had in 2020, which were the same as in 2029. So although I don't have specific dates for you right at my fingertips, expect the calendar to look the same and expect the fee structure to look the same as it has in the past. But that information will be forthcoming as soon as the executive board votes on it, which should be at its December meeting. So that information will be out in a number of weeks, I think. It'll at least be available to us. We'll know more. Hope that helps.
Thank you. Thank you, Phil. All right, our next question is, can the director's cabin be rented this winter? As of right now, the council still has all of the indoor overnight facilities closed. I think there was talks in changing that for January 1, but with the coronavirus picking up in the state of New Hampshire, I don't know if that will change this year. As soon as that does change, that will go out on the website. I'm sure there'll be an email blast to let everybody know, just like what's available on the properties that went out. We'll get back that information out to everybody as quick as possible when we're able to rent the facilities out again for overnight camping. So I have next question is, are you planning 1 or 2 campers per tent? Yes. So as of right now, again, if it was going to be tomorrow, we were opening up camp, it would be 1 camper per tent. In 6 months from now, I don't know what that's going to look like. So again, there's still a lot of unknowns. I would love to have the 2 scouts, the buddies, in their tents together because it's an experience. I remember my experience in my tents with my buddies when I was a scout and had such a great time. And to be in one of those tents by yourself with those big daddy long legs, I'm sure it'll be a little creepy for them. I hope that we don't have to do that. They have their buddies with them. So we're hoping for that. We don't know. The only thing that they will have are brand new tents. That much I can offer them, and I do have in stock and in our it's in the Bell basement actually. It's just piles and piles of brand new tents. So we're really excited about that. You are very welcome. But I'm going to stay on for a few more minutes. If anybody has any more questions, please, I'm here to give everybody as much information as possible. Oh, wait, I got some more questions coming in. Excellent. Is there electricity for CPAPs at sites? No, but we do have, the Rangers made these pretty cool things, these battery packs that can be brought to your site in order for a CPAP machine to be run. So we do have that option available. We just need to know prior to your arrival to camp whether or not you need it. But yes, we do have the option for power for CPAPs. Can there be a sort of a new leader orientation for first timers planning on bringing a group to summer camp? Absolutely. I would love to, whatever we can do to help facilitate your unit and new leaders. We're going to offer quite a bit new trainings and stuff at camp this summer. Hopefully to get that in. If there's something else that you're looking for, please shoot me an email, drew.ridlewski@dwccamping.org. It's on the council website on the contact us on the camping to find my email, and we could talk a little bit more about what you're looking for as far as a new leader orientation. But I like where you're going with that, and that could be something that'd be helpful, I think, to all the units. So that's something that we could definitely work on. You are very welcome, and thank you for being here. Maybe a coffee hour for new leaders. Sure, that's something that we could definitely do that. Pre-planning stuff, sure. I'm sure we can set up some time to do that. You know, even if, like Mark and I said, we want to do a monthly meeting, you know, like this, a coffee time meeting where we can answer some questions and just talk to everybody and give as much information out as possible. And maybe we can do a session or two for new leaders just to do that. I have no problem doing that. I would love to. So that's something that we can talk about. So if you want to get back to me on that, we can definitely do that. Thank you, everybody, for the kind words on my position. I'm really excited of what we can do for GSR and making it one of the best reservations in the Northeast is what I'm looking to do. That's my main goal and my team's goal. We have wonderful property. We have so much here to give and so much for our scouts to learn and take away from this reservation. You know, the first time I stepped foot on this reservation, I fell in love with it, and it was with my son for his second year here at Hidden Valley. And I haven't stopped coming. Obviously, I'm still here, and I keep going with the positions and keep moving and trying to give back to our youth as much as we possibly can. So again, if we don't have anything else for questions, I'd like to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. And we will see you in December at some time. We'll get email blasts out when our next meeting with the directors will be, and we'll do some breakouts from there, and it'll be a great night. Thank you, everyone, for coming, and happy Thanksgiving. Hope everybody gets fat and happy, because I know I will.
Thanks for having us. Happy Thanksgiving.
I'll stay on for a couple minutes. If anybody has any questions, please feel free to type anything you have. Everybody has my email. Again, you can find it on the council website. And just feel free to give me an email, give me a phone call. Either way, I am always available.
Have a really fun summer.
Yes, Tom, we will.
I'm going to have to come up there and harass Mr. Greer as much as possible.
Please do, Mr. Donovan. I don't see you nearly enough, young man. Who?
Harassing Mr. Greer is a good sport.
Yeah.
Hi, Mr. Scott. How are you, sir?
Hi, Mr. Tom. I'm good. How are you?
We're going to have a blast next summer.
Oh, yes, we are.
Tim, you were the only one that got that is Mount Mac. You are correct, sir.
Drew, this is Barry Hampman. So I sent you a message. I was hoping I could get a time to talk to you offline about Troop and Crew 13.
Yeah,
as you know,
Barry.
we're always the odd duck trying to do something different. But we're anxious to come back to camp. We've already sent out our form for week 7. But we're looking for a slight variation on a theme, as always.
Okay. Not a problem.
So, great, thanks.
Not a problem whatsoever. Just shoot me an email, Barry, and then we'll set up a time. I'm available quite a bit, so just let's catch up offline, and we'll set up a meeting and see how we can help you guys out.
Okay, I'm retired, so I'm available always. So
Okay.
Okay, thanks.
Thank
Bye.
you. Good job, everybody.